What if the part of you you fear the most is the one that could finally set you free? You have spent your whole life chasing peace, escaping chaos, silencing thoughts, trying to stay calm. But have you ever wondered why peace never stays? Why, even after letting go, something inside you still trembles, a quiet ache that refuses to disappear? That is where this journey begins. In the Jungian Descent, you will not rise above your pain, you will descend into it. You will step into the forgotten corners of your mind, where the shadows live, where your truest self has been waiting to be seen. Carl Jung once wrote, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." This is not about fixing yourself. It is about meeting yourself, fully, honestly, without fear. In the first chapter of this series, the Stoics taught us how to let go, how to release control, how to find stillness amid the storm. But now, the descent begins. The journey from control to understanding, from silence to wholeness. You will face your shadow, remove your masks, and discover that the light you are chasing has always been inside you. So take a breath, step into the dark, because sometimes to awaken, you must first fall. Let your body rest. Let your thoughts drift. The night is quiet now, the kind of quiet that hums softly in the distance, like the world holding its breath. Somewhere between wakefulness and sleep, there is a strange space where your mind begins to wander, not to the stars, but inward. And tonight, we begin there. You have achieved things. You have built, earned, survived. But sometimes, when the applause fades and the noise quiets, a hollow feeling lingers, like a soft echo in an empty room. It is not failure. It is comparison. The invisible weight that presses on your chest whenever you look at someone else's life and ask, "Am I enough?" The mind, left unattended, is a collector of mirrors. Everywhere you go, you hold up fragments of other people, their beauty, their success, their happiness. And in those fragments, you lose sight of your own reflection. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Their success is not my failure." It sounds simple, but in the stillness of night, it feels almost impossible to believe. We live in a world that measures worth like currency, likes, titles, numbers, names. And yet, none of it can fill the quiet space within you that longs simply to be. Imagine a cracked mirror. Each shard reflects a piece of you, distorted and incomplete. When you live through the eyes of others, your reflection bends. Too tall, too small, too dim, too bright. You start mistaking the reflection for reality, and soon you forget which face is yours. Comparison is not a sin. It is a habit of the wounded. It grows in the gap between who you are and who you think you should be. It whispers that peace is elsewhere, in another body, another job, another life. But peace does not live there. It never did. You might notice how exhausting it feels, that endless reaching. Every time you compare, you tighten your grip on an illusion. You hold on to the idea that life is a race, that happiness is a trophy, that someone else's light somehow dims your own. But light does not compete. It simply shines. Close your eyes for a moment and breathe. Feel your chest rise and fall, the quiet rhythm of existence that asks for nothing in return. This breath, this moment, does not need to be measured against anyone's. It is yours. It is enough. Carl Jung once wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Yet how can one become when one is constantly comparing? To become means to turn inward, to notice, to listen, to rest. Comparison pulls you outward, scattering your attention across 1,000 tiny reflections until you vanish among them. You may remember the moments in your life when you felt unseen. Not because others ignored you, but because you had forgotten to see yourself. You were too busy chasing shadows, mistaking someone else's script for your own story. The pain of comparison is not in what others have. It is in what you lose while watching them. It is in the silence of your own neglected soul. Now, imagine again the cracked mirror. Instead of trying to piece it back together, let it go. Let the fragments fall away. You do not need to fix the reflection. You only need to return to the one who is looking. In that act, the simple noticing, something shifts. The weight begins to lift. You realize that comparison is not proof that you are broken. It is a signal, a gentle reminder that you have been looking outward too long. The Stoics called it the art of self-command, not in the sense of control but of attention. To reclaim your gaze, to choose where your mind rests. Because peace, as Marcus taught, begins not when you win, but when you stop needing to. So tonight, as you listen, imagine yourself standing before a still lake under moonlight. The surface ripples with a faint wind, and for a moment, you see many faces reflected there. Faces of people you have admired, envied, loved. Let them drift. Beneath those shifting images, there is one reflection that stays. Yours. This is where the journey inward begins. Not with ambition, but with awareness. With the quiet realization that there is nothing to prove. That life is not a contest of becoming more, but a remembering of what you already are. You may feel an ache, yes. That ache of being human, of longing, of never feeling enough. But in that ache, there's also tenderness. It is the soul's way of calling you back home. So breathe again. Feel the stillness grow wider around you. Let the comparisons dissolve one by one until only silence remains. And in that silence, perhaps for the first time, you will see that your worth has never been a reflection. It has always been a presence. The presence that watches. The one beneath the mirror. Now, let your thoughts drift and rest. Somewhere between the quiet acceptance and the lingering ache of comparison, a new realization begins to surface. When you stop measuring yourself against others, another question slowly rises. If I am not who they are, then who am I? Let your breathing slow. Feel your body soften into the stillness around you. You are not racing anymore. You are simply here. The night holds you like a mirror, calm, reflective, patient. And within that stillness, something begins to show itself. Carl Jung called it the persona, the mask we wear to face the world. It is not evil, nor false. It is the version of ourselves we craft to belong, to be loved, to be safe. It is the smile you give when you are tired, the strength you show when you are breaking, the silence you keep when your truth feels too heavy to speak. You are not the mask you wear. The words echo softly, almost like a lullaby to the self that hides behind performance. Imagine yourself standing before a fogged mirror. The air is cool and the glass is dim with condensation. You can see the shape of your face, but the details blur. For a moment, you realize this is how most of us live. Half visible, half lost behind the mist of who we pretend to be. The persona is not the enemy. It is a survival instinct. the part of you that learned to navigate the expectations of others. As children, we wear it to please. As adults, we wear it to protect. But the more we rely on it, the more we forget what lies beneath. You might notice how tiring it feels to always perform, to hold a certain expression, a certain role, a certain story. It is like holding your breath in public and only exhaling in solitude. And sometimes, even when you are alone, you forget how to breathe freely. There is a quiet sadness in realizing that your laughter, your success, even your kindness may sometimes come through the mask, not from the soul. Jung wrote, "The persona is what one is in reality, and not what one appears to be." He did not mean that the mask is false, but that it is incomplete. A single page mistaken for the whole book. Now, let the fog on the mirror begin to clear. You do not need to wipe it away. Simply wait. The warmth of your breath fades, and slowly, your reflection becomes sharper. You see the eyes, not the expression. The curve of your mouth, not the smile you practiced. For the first time, you are looking not at the face you show, but at the face that is. This is what it means to turn inward, not to reject the mask, but to recognize it, to see that you have spent years becoming visible to the world and invisible to yourself. You played roles so well that you forgot the actor behind them. And yet, beneath all of it, there is stillness, a presence untouched by performance, a watcher behind the face. The persona protects, but it also isolates. The more polished it becomes, the harder it is to feel connection. Because connection can only exist where something is real. The mask smiles for everyone, but it never truly feels seen. So tonight, as you listen, imagine gently removing that mask. There is no need to rip it off. Just lift it slightly, like one might lift a curtain to let in light. Underneath, there is no monster, no failure, no brokenness, only a quiet, living truth that has been waiting patiently to breathe. You may feel vulnerable, even naked without it. That is natural. To meet yourself unfiltered is both terrifying and sacred. But that trembling is not weakness. It is the pulse of something real waking up. When you stop pretending, the world does not collapse. It softens. It meets you where you are, not where you perform to be. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel your own presence, the weight of your hands, the rhythm of your breath, the pulse in your chest. These are the things that remain when all masks fall away. These are the things that make you human. In this quiet space, you can almost hear a whisper rise from within. The beginning of freedom is the realization that you are not the voice in your head. You are not the comparison. You are not the mask. You are not even the thoughts that narrate your life. You are the awareness behind it all, the watcher of mirrors, the breath behind the fog. And as that awareness widens, the fog begins to clear completely. The glass is transparent now. What remains is not an image to fix, but a presence to feel. You do not need to fight the mask. You only need to see it. And once seen, it begins to dissolve on its own. So rest in that space between reflection and truth. Let the mirror show you both the mask and the one beneath. Both belong to you. Both are real, but only one is eternal. Let the night deepen around you. The air grows still. Your breath slows. The mask fades. And for a fleeting moment, you meet the self that has been watching all along. It has no need to prove, no need to hide. It only knows how to be. The mirror is clear now. The fog has lifted. The mask has softened, and in its place, a face you have not truly seen in years begins to return. The silence feels strange at first, almost uncomfortable, as if the noise of the world had been a kind of shelter. But beneath that silence, something familiar stirs, something that has always been there. After so many years of comparing, performing, striving to belong, this moment feels like standing still for the first time. There's no need to look better, sound wiser, or seem stronger. You are no longer trying to impress the reflection. You are simply meeting it. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Tonight, you begin that quiet work. The unconscious does not speak in words. It speaks in sensations. The release of your shoulders, the slowing of your breath, the gentle loosening of who you thought you were. You have been so many versions of yourself. The achiever, the pleaser, the strong one, the one who never falters. But now, as the night deepens, all those versions begin to rest. They have served their purpose. They do not need to disappear. They simply do not need to lead anymore. Notice how the silence grows wider. It is not empty. It is full of presence, full of possibility. You are not losing yourself. You are returning. The voice in your head might still whisper. It might say, "You should be doing more," or "You're not there yet." But listen closely. That voice is not you. It is only an echo, a habit of the mind trying to fill the space that silence leaves behind. As Eckhart Tolle wrote, "The beginning of freedom is the realization that you are not the voice in your head." Freedom does not come from quieting the mind, but from stepping back, from realizing that you are the listener, not the noise. Take a slow breath. Feel it travel in, then out. You are not your thoughts. You are the space in which they come and go. You are not your emotions. You are the stillness that feels them and lets them pass. You are not the story you tell yourself. You are the awareness that watches the story unfold. This awareness, calm, silent, vast, has always been with you. It never leaves. It was there in every success, every mistake, every heartbreak. You may have forgotten it, but it has never forgotten you. The world has taught you to define yourself by action, identity, and image. But the self that watches does not need definition. It only asks for presence. It asks that you come home. Imagine now that you are sitting by a quiet lake just before dawn. The surface of the water is still. You can see the reflection of the moon fading as light begins to rise. In that moment, there is nothing to fix, nothing to reach for, nothing to prove. There is only being. Every thought that passes, every memory, every judgment is like a leaf landing on the water. It ripples, then disappears. The lake doesn't fight the leaf. It doesn't cling to it, nor push it away. It simply returns to stillness. That is what the mind learns when you stop identifying with the mask. It learns to rest, to reflect without distortion, to hold both light and shadow without fear. Perhaps this is the quiet freedom Marcus Aurelius spoke of when he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Strength here does not mean control. It means presence, the power to stay. To stay with yourself, even when your thoughts turn dark. To stay in the silence, even when the noise tempts you back. To stay in truth, even when the mask calls your name. You're beginning to see that peace is not something to achieve. It is something to uncover, hidden beneath the layers of comparison and performance. When those layers fall away, what remains is not emptiness but essence, the simple, unshakable awareness of being. You might not recognize yourself yet. That is all right. Recognition takes time. The masks have been on for so long that even the light can feel foreign at first. But remember, every breath you take in awareness is an act of return. Every exhale releases a version of you that no longer needs to perform. Slowly, gently, the self beneath the mask begins to emerge. It does not speak loudly. It hums, a soft vibration beneath the noise. It says, I have always been here. You just forgot to listen. Stay with that feeling. Stay with the breath. Let it anchor you. Let it remind you that even in stillness, you are whole. In this moment, there is nothing to fix, no one to become. You are already enough, in all your imperfection, in all your light and shadow. You do not have to earn your place here. Existence itself has already given it to you. Let that truth sink in. Let it wash through your mind like warm light spreading through a quiet room. The thoughts soften. The body unclenches. The space widens. This is what it means to return, not to a new self, but to the one that never left. Take one last deep breath. Feel the air enter your lungs, then leave gently. The night holds you now. The mind begins to rest. And in this quiet, the journey inward begins. The night deepens. The air grows cooler, quieter, as if the world itself has taken a long, slow breath. You can almost hear it, the faint rustle of wind moving through the leaves, the kind of sound that reminds you of time passing, softly but endlessly. You have come far in this inward journey, from comparison to awareness, from pretending to presence. Now, the silence takes you somewhere even deeper, because in that silence, you begin to hear the one truth we all try to forget. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." It sounds cold at first, almost harsh, but listen closer. It is not a threat. It is a reminder, a whisper from the stoic heart of time itself. You are here only for a moment. Let those words settle in your chest, not as fear, but as clarity. Death is not the enemy of life. It is what makes life luminous. Like a candle that knows it will one day melt into nothing. Its flame burns not weaker, but brighter, because it understands the gift of every flicker. Imagine that candle now, the small, steady flame, its light trembling with the breath of the room. It does not rush, does not beg for more time. It simply gives what it can, fully, quietly, completely. In that stillness, it understands what we often forget. Everything ends, and that is why everything matters. We spend most of our lives trying to escape this truth. Building, collecting, chasing, pretending. But every pursuit, every dream, every fear is shaped by the same invisible horizon, impermanence. The Stoics call this reflection memento mori. Remember that you will die, not to make you mourn life, but to teach you to cherish it. There is something sacred about the night when you remember this truth. Suddenly, the small things begin to shine. The warmth of your breath, the hum of silence, the soft pulse of your heart. You realize that life has never been in the grand moments, but in these small, unnoticed miracles. To remember your mortality is not to lose hope. It is to awaken gratitude. You might feel the faint sadness that comes with this thought, the ache of knowing that nothing lasts. But let that ache expand. It is not pain. It is awareness. It is the heart opening to the rhythm of existence, to the rise and fall of everything that has ever lived. Jung once wrote, "Life is a short pause between two great mysteries. We fear the end because we do not understand it. But maybe the end is not darkness. Maybe it is simply silence, a return to the vast stillness from which we came. When you begin to see death not as an interruption but as completion, something changes in how you live. The noise quiets, the hurry fades. You no longer rush to prove, to compare, to outshine. You begin to love differently, not with grasping, but with grace. You start to see how fragile everything is. And in that fragility, there is beauty. Like frost on glass before the sun rises. Like laughter echoing down a hallway after everyone's gone to bed. Like the breath you are taking now, precious, fleeting, irreplaceable. The candle flickers again and you realize that your own light burns just the same. Temporary, yes, but no less meaningful. The flame is not afraid of its end. It knows that what matters is the warmth it gives while it is alive. So let that be your meditation tonight. As you breathe in, remember that this breath is a gift. As you breathe out, let go of the illusion that you are owed another. Every inhale is birth. Every exhale is a small, beautiful death. When you live with that awareness, time changes shape. It stops being something you chase and becomes something you inhabit. You no longer ask, how much time do I have? But rather, how much presence can I bring to this moment? Death, in its quiet way, teaches us to live truthfully, to speak what is real, to forgive before the day ends, to look at someone you love and truly see them, not as they were yesterday or as they might be tomorrow, but as they are now, breathing, alive, here. Memento mori is not a cold philosophy. It is warmth disguised as shadow. It asks you to hold life more gently, to see that everything you love is temporary, and because of that, infinitely precious. Marcus once said, "Do not act as if you are going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you while you live, while it is in your power. Be good. Be good. Not in the moral sense, but in the human one. Be kind. Be awake. Be grateful. Let your existence leave a soft trace of light, like the candle in the quiet room. You could leave life right now, yes, but you are here. You are breathing. You are listening. The wind outside the window carries its ancient rhythm, the same one that has whispered through all human lives before yours. It is saying, be present, because to remember death is to finally begin living. So let your breath slow. Let the awareness of impermanence cradle you instead of frightening you. You are not separate from the flow. You are part of it. The flame, the wind, the silence, all moving together in one endless breath. As you drift deeper into this stillness, know this. You do not need forever to be whole. You only need now. And in remembering that, you have already learned how to live. The night has settled now. The wind outside has quieted into a soft hum, and the candle that once flickered fiercely now burns with a steady, slow rhythm, as if it too has accepted its brief and beautiful life. From the stillness of memento mori, the remembrance of death, comes something unexpected. Warmth, a tenderness that stretches through the quiet, touching every memory that once felt far away. The thought of death no longer feels like an ending. It feels like an invitation to look at life with gentler eyes. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." When you begin to remember death, You stop living as though tomorrow is a guarantee. You stop postponing what truly matters. You begin to see that life is not something waiting at the end of your achievements, but something unfolding quietly in each breath you take. To remember death, paradoxically, is to love life more deeply. Close your eyes for a moment. Let the night guide you back through the corridors of your memory, to your youth, your laughter, the faces that once surrounded you, the smell of rain after school, the first person who made your heart race, the dream you once swore you would never abandon. You can almost touch them again, but not as you once did. They are softer now, woven into you. That is the gift of transience. Nothing you have ever loved is truly gone. It has only changed form. Carl Jung once said, "The acceptance of death is the beginning of spiritual transformation." When you stop fighting the inevitable, something ancient inside you begins to awaken. The part that knows how to live without clinging, how to love without fear. Think of it like the changing of seasons. Spring never mourns winter, it grows from it. The petals that fall in summer become the soil for next year's bloom. Life is not a straight line from birth to death. It is a circle. Every ending feeding another beginning. You may feel a trace of sadness when you think of time passing, the dreams unfinished, the people who have drifted away, the moments you wish you could live again. But that sadness too is sacred. It is love disguised as loss. To remember death is to love life deeply. Let those words settle. They are not meant to make you weep, but to make you feel. To remind you that love and impermanence are not opposites. They are partners in the dance of being. Every beautiful thing owes its beauty to its brevity. The sunset glows because it fades. The music moves you because it ends. The moments that define your life, the laughter, the tears, the quiet mornings, are precious not despite their passing, but because of it. You see, permanence is an illusion of the frightened mind. We want things to last because we are afraid of the void. But life was never meant to be held, only experienced. Jung wrote, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain, and the pain of impermanence. The ache that comes when you realize you cannot keep what you love is the beginning of awakening. You start to see that the purpose of life is not to possess, but to participate. Everything changes, everything flows, and in that flow, you are changed too. Look back once more at the memories you thought you lost, the faces, the voices, the places. They are not gone. They live in you now, transformed into the wisdom of your present being. Every goodbye you have ever said has made room for a deeper hello. In Jung's view, the ego fears death because it sees death as disappearance. But the soul knows better. The soul understands that death, whether of a moment, a love, or a self, is a return. It is the falling of the leaf that feeds the soil, the pause between heartbeats that gives rhythm to life. You could think of it like waves returning to the sea. Each one rises, shines for a moment in the sun, then disappears. But it never truly dies. It becomes the ocean again, and so will you. Let that image rest in your mind. The ocean, endless and calm, receiving every wave without resistance. Every birth, every death, every transformation, all returning home. Death, then, is not something to dread, but to learn from. It is a mirror reminding us how to live. It asks, gently, if everything you love could vanish tomorrow, how would you live tonight? You would likely slow down. You would breathe deeper. You would listen more closely to the sound of the rain or the voice of someone you love. You would care less about being remembered and more about being real. That is the wisdom of transience. It humbles you into presence. Remembering death teaches you how to stay awake in life. It turns the mundane into the miraculous. The warmth of your coffee, the quiet hum of your home, the weight of your body against the bed as you breathe. Jung once described the process of spiritual growth as a descent into the unconscious, a journey into the unseen parts of ourselves. Accepting death, our greatest unknown, is the first step into that descent. It is not about obsession or fear. It is about surrender. It is about saying, I am part of this great movement and I will not fight it anymore. Every heartbeat you feel now, every breath, every blink, each one is a reminder that life is moving through you, not something you control. You are not separate from time. You are time itself, unfolding for a brief, miraculous moment. So as you rest tonight, do not fear what fades. Instead, thank it. Thank the passing moments for teaching you how to be present. Thank the uncertainty for keeping you humble. Thank the impermanence that makes your love burn brighter, your laughter ring truer, your silence feel deeper. Because what you love will pass, and because it will pass, it becomes eternal in meaning. To remember death is to love life deeply, and in that remembrance, the soul begins to awaken. The candle burns lower now. The flame no longer dances wildly. It steadies, small and calm, as though it has accepted its fate. The room is filled with a quiet glow, and everything feels softer, slower, lighter. What once seemed terrifying, the thought of endings, of loss, of death, has transformed into something gentle, something sacred. You have walked through remembrance and reflection. You have seen that transience is not a curse, but a teacher. Now comes the final step, to live with that awareness, not in fear, but in gratitude. To live beautifully is to live as if you have already said goodbye. That does not mean sadness. It means presence. When you understand that every moment is temporary, you stop taking any of them for granted. You stop rushing through conversations, stop postponing forgiveness, stop waiting for the right time to feel joy. Because this, right here, this breath, this silence, this flicker of awareness, is the only time that has ever truly existed. There is a saying that captures this truth perfectly. What dies is never wasted. It becomes what you will become. When a leaf falls, it feeds the soil. When a wave breaks, it becomes the sea. When a life ends, its energy does not vanish. It transforms, returning to the vast current from which it came. The universe wastes nothing, neither does your soul. So when you live with awareness of the end, you begin to see the hidden continuity beneath every ending. The friendships that faded have shaped your compassion. The heartbreaks that broke you have deepened your love. The failures you thought were final were simply beginnings wearing different names. Carl Jung once said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." Perhaps that is what endings really are. Not destruction, but awakening. The shedding of what is false so that what is real can breathe. Imagine standing in a field at dusk. The light is fading, but not in sorrow. The colors grow warmer, richer. Gold melting into rose, rose into blue. You know the day is ending, but it feels whole, complete, fulfilled. You do not mourn the sun for setting. You thank it for shining. That is how life can feel when you carry awareness of the end. Each day, each encounter, each small joy becomes a sunset. Something to behold, to honor, to release without grasping. Living this way does not make you distant or detached. It makes you tender. You start to speak softer, listen longer, love deeper. Not because you fear losing, but because you finally understand that love is loss. To love is to accept impermanence as the price of beauty. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do every act of your life as if it were your last." It is not a command to rush or to panic. It is a whisper to be present, to infuse every gesture, a glance, a touch, a word, with meaning, because none of them will ever happen in quite the same way again. When you live as though every moment could be your last, you stop waiting for someday. You realize that the someday you were always chasing has been here all along. Jung believed that confronting mortality is what awakens the soul. He called it individuation, the process of becoming whole. You begin as fragments, the child, the achiever, the lover, the wanderer, and through loss, through time, through endings, you merge into something complete. The awareness of death is not the end of life. It is the birth of wisdom. What dies within you, the illusions, the fears, the masks, becomes the soil for a truer self. Each time something ends, a deeper layer of you begins. There is a strange comfort in this truth. It means you do not need to hold on so tightly. You can let go of people, of moments, of versions of yourself, and trust that nothing real is ever lost. It only changes form, like breath moving from inhale to exhale, like light fading from day into night. Perhaps that is what Marcus meant when he wrote, "In accepting the end, we rediscover the beginning." Every ending carries a hidden door. Every death carries a rebirth. The end of a day becomes the silence of night. The silence becomes the dream. The dream becomes the dawn. Let this awareness settle gently into your heart. You do not need to rush to understand it. Just breathe it in. Feel how it loosens the grip of fear, how it softens the edges of your thoughts. You will still grieve. You will still long, still ache, still miss what has passed. But underneath the ache, there will be peace. Because you know that nothing beautiful ever truly disappears. It only moves like a wave returning home. So tonight, live softly, speak kindly, feel everything. Let the moments come and go as they please. You do not need to capture them. You only need to be awake enough to notice. And when you notice, the sound of your breath, the warmth in your chest, the stillness of the room, let it remind you, this is all there ever is. This is all there ever needs to be. You have lived through 1,000 endings already, and yet here you are, breathing still. That is the miracle. That is life. And so, as the candlelight fades and the night wraps itself around you, let this truth remain. In accepting the end, we rediscover the beginning. Rest now in that awareness. You are not losing anything. You are returning to the rhythm of everything that has ever been and everything that will ever be again. The night is deeper now. The candle that once lit the room burns low, its flame barely moving. A single patient pulse of light in an ocean of dark. The world outside has fallen silent, and within that silence, a new kind of journey begins. You have learned to let go, to accept endings, to breathe through impermanence. But the descent does not stop there, because beneath acceptance lies something more ancient, a place we rarely dare to visit, the hidden country of the self. Carl Jung once said, "Everyone carries a shadow." And it is here, in this dim and quiet hour, that we begin to meet ours. Imagine yourself standing at the mouth of a cave. The air is cool, damp, still. The ground beneath your feet feels solid but unfamiliar. The light from behind you, the soft glow of what is known, begins to fade as you step forward. You can hear the faint echo of your own breath bouncing off the stone walls. The cave is not a place of evil. It is not punishment or despair. It is simply the part of the mind that daylight never touches. The place where all that you have forgotten, denied, or feared still lives. You walk slowly, deeper in. Every step echoes with memory. The voices of childhood, the faces you turned away from, the mistakes you tried to bury. They are not ghosts. They are fragments of you. This is what Jung called the shadow, the side of the psyche that holds everything we refuse to see. Not just anger, jealousy, and shame, but also tenderness, creativity, and courage that were never given room to breathe. The shadow is not the monster beneath the bed. It is the part of your soul that was never allowed to stand in the light. When you begin to explore it, fear rises naturally, because here you are stripped of illusion. Here there are no masks, no comparisons, no achievements to hide behind. Only truth, raw and waiting. But remember, you are not here to fight the darkness. You are here to listen to it. The air grows colder as you move deeper into the cave. Your footsteps slow. Somewhere ahead, you hear the faint dripping of water, a rhythmic reminder that even here, life continues. The shadows shift and breathe, but they do not attack. They wait. You begin to realize that the fear you feel is not coming from the darkness itself, but from your resistance to seeing it. Every time you denied your sadness, every time you silenced your anger or numbed your pain, you gave this place more power. But as you stand here now in stillness, the fear begins to soften. The cave does not want to harm you. It wants to be known. Jung wrote, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. To become whole, you must enter the cave, not as a conqueror, but as a guest. You must walk into the darkness with open eyes and an open heart, because within it lies everything that was ever missing. Take a breath. Feel it echo through the space around you. As your eyes adjust, you begin to see shapes emerging, not monsters, but memories. You see your disappointments sitting quietly in the corner, your anger flickering like a dying fire, your loneliness curled up beside the wall. You see the version of yourself that was once told, "You are too much." The one that was told, "You are not enough." You realize that these shadows are not strangers. They are the echoes of moments when love was withheld. And you mistook that for proof that you were unworthy. So you sit down with them. You do not turn away. You do not demand they disappear. You let them speak. Their voices tremble at first, fragile from years of silence. But as they speak, you begin to recognize their tone. They sound like you, younger, softer, forgotten. You listen, you breathe, and slowly, the cave that once felt suffocating begins to feel sacred. This is the true heart of shadow work. Not fixing, not defeating, but welcoming. It is an act of radical compassion to sit with what you once abandoned and say, I see you now. You are safe here. As you listen, something remarkable happens. The shadows begin to change. The outlines blur. The air warms. You realize that what you feared was never darkness itself, but your disconnection from it. Light begins to move again, not from above, but from within. It is faint at first, like a memory of morning. The walls shimmer slightly, revealing markings, symbols, words, patterns carved long ago. They tell the story of every human who has ever walked this same path, the journey inward, through fear, toward wholeness. You understand now that the cave is not separate from you. It is you, the part of your being that has waited patiently for acknowledgement. There is no need to rush, no need to escape. You can stay here for as long as you need, because the moment you stop running from your darkness, it stops chasing you. The mind, once terrified, begins to relax. The body softens. You start to feel a strange calm, not because the shadows are gone, but because they are finally seen. This is what it means to enter the cave, to face the unseen, to meet the rejected, to return to the places you left behind. You are not broken for having darkness within you. You are human. And in that humanity, there is beauty. Jung once wrote, knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. When you begin to see and accept the shadows inside yourself, compassion expands. You no longer judge others for their anger or fear, because you have met your own. The cave becomes quieter now. The dripping water fades into the distance. The stillness feels alive, almost warm. You understand that this darkness is not empty. It is fertile. Everything you thought was lost has been waiting here, ready to grow. You turn toward the faint light at the far end of the cave, not to escape, but to return, carrying with you the truth that was buried here. The shadow is no longer something to fear. It is part of your story, part of your wholeness. And as you take one final breath before stepping forward, you whisper the words that began this descent. Everyone carries a shadow, but now you understand the rest. It is not your burden, it is your guide. And so you walk toward the light, not leaving the cave behind, but carrying it within you. You have entered the cave. You have felt its breath, the quiet, patient darkness that holds everything you once refused to see. The air inside no longer feels cold now. It feels honest. You can sense something shifting deep within you, a soft awareness that the monsters you feared were only parts of yourself waiting to be met. But just as the calm begins to settle, you notice something else. A tension, subtle but strong, still clinging to the edges of your awareness. Even here, in this place of truth, there is resistance. Carl Jung once wrote, "What you resist persists." These 5 words carry a lifetime of wisdom. Whatever you fight within yourself, the anger, the sadness, the shame, will only grow stronger in silence. Every emotion you push away waits patiently in the dark, asking to be seen, to be felt, to be freed. Imagine for a moment that your emotions are waves in the ocean. Some are gentle, rising and falling without effort. Others crash violently, stirring the depths, pulling everything toward them. When you resist the wave, when you try to fight it, control it, or hold it still, it pushes back with even greater force. The more you deny it, the more it demands to be felt. But when you let the wave rise and fall naturally, without judgment, it eventually returns to calm. That is the secret. Peace is not found by resisting the wave, but by letting it pass through you. Take a slow breath, inhale, and feel whatever emotion still lingers within you. Don't name it yet. Don't try to change it. Just feel the shape of it, the way it moves in your body. Now exhale, and as you do, imagine releasing the need to fix or control it. You are not your fear. You are not your anger. You are the ocean that holds them. In this moment, there is nothing to resist. There is only breath. Every human being learns to suppress emotion in some way. We are taught to smile when we are sad, to stay strong when we are breaking, to move on when something hurts. But what we bury does not die. It waits, and it grows roots in the unconscious. The Stoics called this inner conflict. Jung called it psychic repression. Both understood the same truth. When you avoid what you feel, you divide yourself. You build walls between the mind and the soul. Walls that block not just pain, but also joy. What you resist persists. Because resistance is energy, and energy cannot vanish, only transform. The anger you deny may become exhaustion. The fear you suppress may return as anxiety. The sadness you silence may echo as numbness. But when you stop resisting, something miraculous happens. The energy you use to hold everything down becomes energy for healing. Let's try something together. Breathe in slowly, this time with awareness. Let the air fill your chest completely. Feel it move through your ribs, your heart, your throat. Now, as you exhale, imagine that you are releasing tension from every corner of your being. The jaw unclenches, the shoulders soften, the space within you widens. You do not need to push anything away. You do not need to escape. You only need to allow. Jung believed that the unconscious was not a dark prison, but a living ecosystem, full of forgotten feelings, unexpressed truths, and unclaimed wisdom. When you open the door and stop resisting, that ecosystem begins to breathe again. It feeds your creativity, your empathy, your depth. You begin to see that even your most difficult emotions are not your enemies. They are teachers. Anger teaches you where your boundaries are. Sadness teaches you what you value most. Fear teaches you where you long to grow. Every emotion carries a message. When you resist it, you miss the message. When you listen, you evolve. So imagine yourself back in that cave. But now, instead of walking away from the shadows, you sit with them. Around you, the air hums softly. You can hear the dripping of water, steady and rhythmic, like the heartbeat of the earth itself. This sound is not haunting anymore. It is grounding. It reminds you that everything flows. You feel anger. It rises like heat. You let it rise. You feel sorrow. It moves like water. You let it move. You feel shame. It trembles in your chest. You do not silence it. You breathe through it. With each breath, the darkness changes. It no longer feels heavy. It feels alive. The cave is not swallowing you. It is transforming you. You remember the words of Jung. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Every emotion you avoid has been shaping your choices in silence. But now that you face them, they lose their control. You are no longer reacting blindly. You are responding consciously. The simple act of allowing, of breathing instead of resisting, begins to dissolve years of inner conflict. You feel lighter, not because the darkness has vanished, but because you no longer need to fight it. Resistance is rooted in fear. Fear that if you let yourself feel, you will drown. But the truth is gentler. When you finally surrender, you realize you can float. Take another breath. Let it flow like a tide. Inhale, awareness. Exhale, acceptance. This is meditation in its purest form, not an escape from reality, but an embrace of it. Not about silencing thoughts or feelings, but about letting them pass without holding on. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs." Acceptance is not weakness, it is wisdom. The wisdom to know that every emotion, even the painful ones, has a purpose. When you resist, you suffer twice. Once from the feeling, and again from the fight against it. So tonight, as the candle burns lower and the cave grows quiet, let this be your practice. Whatever arises, a thought, a fear, a memory, breathe with it. Feel it, thank it, and let it pass. No storm lasts forever. No emotion defines you. Everything, when allowed, eventually finds its peace. What you resist persists, but what you welcome transforms. And as you rest here in the darkness, listening to your own breath echo softly against the walls of your soul, you begin to understand. The cave was never a prison. It was always a womb, a place of rebirth. And in your gentle surrender, something new begins to breathe. The air inside the cave is still. The echoes have softened, and the rhythm of your breath now matches the faint sound of dripping water around you. The tension that once held your body tight has begun to dissolve. After so much resistance, something inside you has shifted, not through force, but through surrender. You no longer fight the darkness. You breathe with it. You move with it. And slowly, a realization begins to rise, like dawn touching the edges of the unseen. Carl Jung once wrote, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." That truth has followed you through every step of this descent. The darkness you feared was never your enemy. It was your mirror. It did not want to destroy you. It wanted to show you what you had forgotten. Now, as your eyes adjust, you begin to see what had been hidden all along. The shadows on the walls no longer seem hostile. They shimmer faintly, as if lit from within. What you thought was emptiness begins to reveal movement, texture, depth. A quiet pulse of life. Rumi once said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." You think back to every heartbreak, every loss, every moment of doubt that once felt unbearable. You see now that none of them were punishments. They were openings, cracks in the armor of the self, where light could finally enter. Pain, it turns out, was not the opposite of growth. It was its language. When you resisted your pain, it stayed sharp and unyielding. But when you allowed yourself to feel it, to sit with it, breathe through it, and stop demanding that it disappear, it began to transform. What once felt like darkness became space. What once felt like heaviness became depth. The light that lives in the dark is not a sudden flash or miracle. It is quiet, patient, steady. It moves slowly, like the warmth that follows sunrise through the forest. You hardly notice it at first, until one day you realize that the fear has faded, and what remains is peace. You sit in the cave, surrounded by the same walls that once frightened you. Yet somehow it feels different. The air is gentler now. The silence no longer presses against you. It holds you. The darkness, once oppressive, now feels like shelter, a soft, living womb of stillness. This is what healing feels like. Not fireworks, not revelation, but reconciliation. You realize now that darkness has always been misunderstood. We call it evil, but it is only energy we have not yet learned to understand. It is the chaos that precedes creation, the soil in which all growth begins. Every seed must first disappear into darkness before it can bloom into light. In this moment, your awareness expands, not upward, but inward. You see that there's no real separation between the two. Light and dark are not enemies. They are partners in the same eternal rhythm. Without one, the other cannot exist. Without descent, there can be no rising. You begin to sense this truth in your own being. The grief you once carried is no longer just pain. It is tenderness. The anger you once buried is no longer fire. It is clarity. The fear that once paralyzed you has become presence. The awareness that you are alive, here, now. You can feel your breath deepen again. Inhale the dark. Exhale the light. They move as one, like the tide. There's no need to choose one over the other, no need to divide what was never meant to be separate. In this quiet awareness, you begin to understand what Jung meant when he spoke of individuation, the process of becoming whole. Wholeness is not perfection. It is not eternal happiness or pure light. Wholeness is the capacity to hold all things, joy and grief, strength and fragility, faith and doubt, without rejecting any of them. You are not here to escape the dark. You are here to meet it, to know it, and to let it show you who you are. As you sit there, a faint beam of light appears at the edge of the cave. It does not startle you. It feels natural, like something that was always meant to happen. The light does not erase the shadows. It softens them. It does not blind. It reveals. You see your reflection again, not in glass, but in the walls, imperfect, cracked, but real. You see the journey etched into you, every scar, every lesson, every act of courage you didn't know you had. And for the first time, you do not wish to change any of it. Rumi's words return to you. The wound is the place where the light enters you. You smile softly because you understand now. It was never about being free of the wound. It was about letting it teach you tenderness. The pain that once defined you has become your opening. The shadow that once frightened you has become your teacher. The darkness you feared most has revealed the most sacred truth of all. That light was never missing. It was growing quietly within you. You take another breath. It feels lighter, deeper, whole. The air in the cave hums with a new kind of silence. Not emptiness, but presence. You can feel it vibrating gently through your chest, through the soles of your feet, through the ground itself. The journey inward has brought you here, to the still point where darkness and light meet, where fear dissolves into understanding and shame transforms into compassion. In your darkness, the voice within you whispers, something sacred has always been waiting. You rise slowly, no longer afraid of what lies behind or before you. The cave does not vanish as you step toward the light. It remains, a living part of you. A reminder that healing is not leaving the darkness, but learning to carry its wisdom into the world. As you walk forward, you can feel both the shadow and the light within you, no longer at war, but in harmony. The cave breathes one final time, releasing you gently like a mother letting go of her child. You emerge not purified, but whole. The darkness once feared has become the cradle of your becoming, and within it you have found the light that was waiting all along. The cave is behind you now, but its silence still lingers within. The darkness you once feared has softened into understanding, and as you walk back toward the light, you realize something profound. The journey was never about choosing one side over the other. It was about learning to hold both. In your heart, you still feel the pulse of shadow, not as an enemy, but as balance. The light within you too glows softly, no longer trying to conquer. They coexist now, like day and night, sharing the same horizon. This is where the next stage of the journey begins. Not in conflict, but in union. Carl Jung called it the union of opposites. He believed that every human being carries within them two energies, the masculine and the feminine, the active and the receptive, the rational and the intuitive. He named them anima and animus, the inner feminine within the man and the inner masculine within the woman. To meet these energies is not to change who you are, but to become more whole. Because wholeness is not the absence of polarity, it is their harmony. Jung wrote, "We contain all that we fear and all that we long for. Every emotion, every desire, every impulse you've ever tried to suppress belongs to you. The gentleness you admire in others, the strength you envy, the softness you deny, all of them live within your psyche, waiting to be recognized. Imagine two rivers meeting. One runs warm and steady, the current of reason, focus, and clarity. The other flows cool and wide, the stream of feeling, intuition, and surrender. For a long time, they traveled separately, shaping the landscape in different ways. But here, in this quiet moment of your life, they begin to merge. At first, the meeting is turbulent. The waters swirl, colliding, mixing, pulling against each other. It feels uncertain, almost chaotic. This is what it feels like when the parts of you that were once divided begin to meet. The rational mind resists the heart's intuition. The strong self tries to silence the tender one. The need to act clashes with the need to rest. Yet, if you stay long enough, if you let the waters mix instead of forcing them apart, the turbulence softens, the temperature equalizes, the two rivers become one. This is not a metaphor for perfection. It is a reminder that harmony does not mean uniformity. It means allowing every part of yourself to have a place, even the ones you've been told to hide. You may have been raised to value strength over sensitivity, logic over emotion, control over vulnerability. But the psyche, like nature, seeks balance. Too much of one element, and the whole system begins to break. That is why the journey inward requires that you meet the opposite within. The parts of you that live in shadow are not mistakes. They are the missing pieces of your balance. Take a breath, inhale, and imagine drawing in the energy you've resisted. Perhaps it is your softness, your gentleness, your ability to feel deeply. Exhale and release the need to control how it should look. There is power in this surrender. In the language of Jung, to meet the anima or animus is to recognize the wholeness of the soul. It is to realize that within every man there is a tenderness that longs to create, and within every woman a strength that longs to protect. These are not contradictions, they are completion. As you breathe, imagine the rivers again. You stand at their confluence where the warm and the cold waters meet. The mist that rises from their union shimmers in the morning light. It is soft, almost sacred. This mist is you, the synthesis of opposites, the dance of strength and surrender. To meet the opposite within is to stop rejecting half of your own existence. It is to stop labeling your emotions as too much or not enough. It is to realize that love and fear, courage and vulnerability are not opposing forces but different faces of the same truth. That to be human is to be complex, fluid, alive. Jung once wrote, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." The same is true within you. When your inner opposites finally meet, the doer and the dreamer, the rational and the poetic, something new emerges, a balanced self. The feminine within brings empathy, patience, and connection. The ability to see the world not as something to conquer, but as something to understand. The masculine within brings clarity, direction, and protection. The ability to act with purpose and courage. When these two energies flow together, they form a current of quiet confidence, grounded and compassionate. You are no longer pulled between extremes. You begin to move from a deeper center, not from impulse, not from fear, but from balance. As the rivers merge, the sound changes too. The roaring fades into a gentle hum, a steady rhythm like a heartbeat. It is the sound of integration, the place where conflict becomes cooperation. You start to realize that this process, this blending, has been happening all along. Every heartbreak softened your strength. Every act of courage awakened your gentleness. Every moment of silence taught your passion to listen. The opposites have always been in dialogue, even when you did not know their language. Now, in this stillness, you can finally hear them clearly. The inner voice that once shouted has become a whisper. It says, you do not have to choose who to be. You can be all of it. This is the beginning of peace. The moment when you stop dividing your own soul into acceptable and unacceptable parts. The light and the dark, the giving and the receiving, the reason and the feeling. They are not enemies. They are partners in an eternal dance. The tension between them is not a flaw. It is the rhythm of creation itself. You remember the rivers? Their waters have now become clear and calm, reflecting the open sky. As you look into that reflection, you see yourself, whole, balanced, unafraid. You whisper the truth that has carried through this journey. We contain all that we fear and all that we long for. And as the day fades softly into twilight, you understand. Peace is not found by becoming one thing. It is found by becoming everything you already are. The rivers flow on, endless and effortless, carrying you gently forward toward the next chapter of becoming. The two rivers have met. Their currents, once opposing, now flow as one, a single stream gliding quietly through the valley of your mind. You can feel it, the warmth and the cool, the strength and the tenderness, the rational and the intuitive, moving together in harmony. For the first time, you understand that peace is not stillness. It is motion without conflict. It is flow. But as the river bends and widens, you sensed something deeper beneath this harmony, a pulse that belongs not only to you, but to the rhythm of life itself. It is the heartbeat of duality, the eternal dance between all opposites that shape existence. There is a law written into the fabric of reality. Light and darkness cannot exist without each other. Life and death, joy and sorrow, gain and loss, They are not contradictions, but companions. Each gives birth to the other, again and again, in a cycle older than time. Jung described this as the coincidentia oppositorum, the coincidence of opposites, the sacred meeting point where all contradictions dissolve into wholeness. To be whole, Jung once said, is to allow contradiction to coexist. You close your eyes and imagine the world breathing in this rhythm. Day fading into night, night yielding to dawn, the moon reflecting the sun's light, the tide pulled and released by the unseen gravity of the moon. Everything, every heartbeat, every breath is part of this cosmic conversation between opposites. The dance of duality is not a struggle, it is choreography. The light steps forward and the dark follows. The dark leans in and the light bows back. There is no domination, no battle for control, only movement, endless, balanced, sacred. You might think of your own life this way. Every triumph has carried a shadow of loss. Every heartbreak has opened a doorway to tenderness. Every ending has quietly carried within it the seed of a new beginning. You have never lived in one side alone. You have always been part of both. Breathe in the image of dawn, that quiet hour when the world holds both light and darkness at once. This is the symbol of integration. The sky blushes with contradiction. Blue and gold, violet and gray, day and night embracing each other without fear. That is what it means to be whole. You are not meant to choose between strength and softness, reason and emotion, solitude and love. You are meant to dance with them, to let each part of you take its turn in the rhythm of your becoming. There is an ancient Taoist verse that whispers, when you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will try to hold on to. When you are not afraid of dying, there is nothing you cannot achieve. This is the essence of duality, the acceptance that life's beauty lies in its impermanence. To resist change is to stand still in a world made of movement. To accept both sides of existence is to finally flow with it. Imagine now a circle slowly turning, the symbol of yin and yang. Inside the light, there is a drop of darkness. Inside the dark, a drop of light. They chase each other endlessly, not in conflict, but in play. Together, they create balance. Together, they form the whole. Your mind begins to quiet as you watch this inner movement. You begin to understand that the chaos of your own life has always been part of this same pattern. A balance constantly adjusting, never broken, only shifting. You recall Jung's words again. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. Light must confront darkness to see itself clearly. Without shadow, there is no depth, no shape, no meaning. The duality that confuses us is also the very thing that defines us. So much of human suffering comes from trying to separate what was never meant to be divided. We want joy without sorrow, success without failure, love without vulnerability. But when we reject one side, we also lose the richness of the other. You cannot have the warmth of sunlight without the coolness of night. You cannot feel gratitude without knowing loss. You cannot truly love without accepting the risk of pain. To live deeply is to dance with both. Take a slow breath now, in and out. Feel the light and the dark within you moving as one. Every inhale carries the fire of creation. Every exhale carries the calm of dissolution. In this rhythm, you are not one or the other. You are the dance itself. The rhythm slows. you begin to see how duality plays even in the smallest things. The pause between two notes in music, the silence that makes words meaningful, the stillness that gives motion its grace. Without the quiet, the song would collapse into noise. Without darkness, the stars could not be seen. The same is true within you. The parts of you that seem opposed, the parts that argue, that contradict, that confuse, are not flaws. They are the intervals between notes, the negative space that allows your soul to have form. You begin to feel gratitude for your own contradictions. Your vulnerability does not weaken your strength, it gives it depth. Your uncertainty does not erase your wisdom, it keeps it humble. Your sadness does not cancel your joy, it deepens it. The dance of duality teaches you that balance is not found by standing still, but by moving gracefully between opposites. To be human is to live in the tension between what is and what could be, between the self you know and the one still forming. When you stop trying to choose between the two, something magical happens. You begin to feel whole. You can sense this truth now, not as a thought, but as a quiet knowing. There is no part of you that must be erased for you to find peace. You are both the light and the shadow, the giver and the receiver, the silence and the song. To be whole is to allow contradiction to coexist. Let those words rest within you as softly as falling snow. Outside the light fades, the world enters its nightly transformation. Somewhere, unseen, the stars begin to hum their silent hymn, a reminder that even in darkness, light never truly disappears. It only changes its form. And as you listen to this eternal dance, day becoming night, breath becoming silence, self becoming whole, you begin to understand. Peace is not found in one side of the coin, but in the endless turning of it. The dance continues, and you are part of it. The night has deepened. The dance of duality has slowed into stillness, and you can feel the balance settling quietly inside your chest. The rivers that once ran in opposite directions now meet in a single current, calm and sure. The push and pull that once divided you, light against dark, reason against emotion, has softened into one steady rhythm, the rhythm of being. You have walked through comparison, through death, through the shadow, through the endless conversation between opposites. And now, at the heart of this journey, something begins to unfold, a quiet revelation, almost too gentle to name. The struggle is no longer between who you are and who you should be. It becomes a merging, a dissolving, a return. Carl Jung once wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This is not the becoming that the world demands, not the pursuit of titles or perfection or constant self-improvement. This becoming is not about adding more to yourself, but shedding what was never truly yours. It is the art of remembering what has always been beneath the masks, beneath the noise. As you sit in the quiet, you can feel the boundaries begin to fade. The separation between thought and feeling, between the inner and the outer, between self and world, it all starts to dissolve. What remains is not emptiness, but a fullness that cannot be described, only felt. The dance of opposites that once spun endlessly now comes to rest in stillness, not because it has stopped, but because you can finally see that both movements have always been one. Light was never separate from shadow. Joy was never separate from sorrow. They were simply different notes in the same eternal song. You are beginning to understand that to become whole is not to fix yourself. It is to stop seeing yourself as broken. Imagine standing at the edge of an ocean. The waves rise and fall. But when you look far enough out, there is no division. Only one vast expanse of water, breathing as a single body. That is what this moment feels like. The merging of all that you are into one living ocean of awareness. Every experience you've ever had, the joy, the shame, the love, the pain, now feels like droplets returning to the same sea. None of them are lost. None of them are wrong. They have all been leading you here. Jung believed that the soul's task was individuation, the process of integrating all parts of the psyche into one whole. But what he really meant, perhaps, was that wholeness is not something you achieve. It is something you uncover. You are not becoming something new tonight. You are remembering. You breathe in, and the air feels softer now, not heavy with questions or striving, but filled with quiet gratitude. You exhale and feel everything unnecessary fall away. The guilt, the comparison, the need to prove. In that breath, something ancient within you exhales too. It is the part of you that has always known peace, even when you forgot it. You think back to the beginning, to the mirror of comparison, to the weight of judgment, to the endless trying to be enough. You see now how each of those moments was a fragment of your becoming. You had to lose yourself in reflection in order to see beyond it. You had to walk through darkness to understand the value of light. You had to feel divided to long for unity. And now, here, at the still point of the soul, you realize you have never been separate at all. All the while, the same consciousness was watching, waiting, gently guiding you home. The same stillness that exists behind your thoughts, behind every word and breath. The same light that flickers quietly, even in the darkest hours. When Jung spoke of wholeness, he was not speaking of perfection. He was describing the place where opposites meet, where all contradictions become one truth, where you are no longer afraid of being too much or too little, where you can finally rest in the simplicity of being. You whisper softly, you are no longer divided. You are home. The words do not come from your mind. They rise from somewhere deeper, like a memory that was waiting to be remembered. The sound of them settles into the room, into your body, into the night. The light and the dark within you no longer fight for space. They have found their balance, like two hands closing gently together in prayer. The heart, once torn between fear and love, now beats in perfect rhythm with the world around it. You look inward and see a kind of quiet radiance, not the bright, blinding light of victory, but the warm, enduring glow of understanding. The heart is no longer searching for answers. It is resting in awareness. Every lesson has brought you closer to this stillness. The stoic calm of Marcus, the quiet acceptance of impermanence, the Jungian courage to face your shadow. And now they have all merged into one truth that echoes through every breath. That peace does not come from controlling life, but from allowing it to be what it is. The dance of duality was never meant to be won, only witnessed. You are the witness, you are the dancer, you are the music. In the distance, you can almost hear the faint hum of the universe, the sound of everything moving in harmony, everything belonging exactly where it is. You breathe with it, You move with it. You are it. The night feels infinite now, but not lonely. You are surrounded by presence. The stars, the air, the silence, all of it holding you in the same quiet embrace. In this stillness, there's no need to search, no need to name. You are not trying to understand anymore. You are simply being. And perhaps that is what becoming truly is. Not striving toward the light, but realizing that the light and the dark, the seeking and the surrendering, have always been one and the same. As Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. You have become that now, not through effort, but through release. Not by finding something new, but by remembering what was always waiting beneath it all. You take one final breath, long and soft. The air feels like home, and as you exhale, the words form gently in your mind. You are no longer divided. You are home. The night holds you. The journey rests. The heart at last is whole. The night has grown quieter now. The air feels softer, as if the world itself has begun to exhale. You have walked through the long corridors of the mind, through comparison, through death, through shadow, through the merging of opposites. And what remains is only silence. Not the empty kind, but the kind that carries peace within it. You have become one. And yet, there is one last threshold to cross. The surrender. After wholeness comes release. After becoming comes unbecoming. Your guide's voice returns, low and gentle. Let it fall apart. Not as a command, but as a permission. You are allowed to let the image of who you thought you had to be dissolve. You are allowed to stop holding everything together. For so long, you have tried to maintain the structure, the self-image, the expectations, the roles you play for others. But tonight, under this quiet sky, all of that can fall away. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist persists." And now you understand what he meant, that the self you have tried so hard to protect has never been the real you. It was only a shell, a mask made of survival, fear, and hope. To let it fall apart is not to lose yourself. It is to finally meet yourself. What's waiting isn't a perfect version of you, but the real you. The perfection you've been chasing has always been a moving target, a mirage shimmering on the horizon. Every time you thought you were close, it moved farther away. But what if you were never meant to reach it? What if peace was not found in holding things together, but in letting them fall apart? Imagine a tree in autumn. The leaves do not cling to the branches in fear of the coming winter. They fall, softly, gracefully, without resistance. Because the tree knows that losing is part of living. That decay is not an end, but a preparation for new life. You, too, are allowed to shed. Let the layers drop. The one who must always appear strong. The one who must always understand. The one who must always be in control. These identities were never meant to last forever. They were stepping stones, not prisons. They brought you here, but they were never meant to define you. Breathe. As you inhale, imagine the pieces of your old self glowing softly in your hands. Memories, names, faces, beliefs. As you exhale, let them scatter into the air, turning into light. This is what it means to let go. Not to destroy, but to allow. The truth is that everything you are holding on to, your story, your fears, your guilt, they are not the enemy. They are simply tired. They have carried you long enough, and now They are ready to rest. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." The same is true of the self. What hurts is not what is falling apart, but the part of you that refuses to let it go. So let it. Let the structures crumble. Let the story end. Let the light spill through the cracks. Every time something falls apart, something else is quietly being born. It is in this collapse that you begin to see clearly, not because the world has changed, but because your eyes are no longer covered by illusion. The perfection you sought has been replaced by presence. The guide's voice softens again, almost like a lullaby. You are safe to fall apart. You are safe to begin again. You notice how the words feel different now. Once, they might have sounded terrifying. To let go of control, to lose what defines you. But here, in this stillness, it feels like mercy. Like finally setting down a heavy bag you have carried for years. Perhaps this is what Jung meant when he said that there is no coming to consciousness without pain. The breaking was necessary. The unraveling was not failure. It was transformation. Every human being must, at some point, let something fall apart. A dream, a belief, a version of themselves. But what follows is not destruction, it is rebirth. Look inward. Feel the quiet. Beneath the noise, beneath the stories, there is something that cannot be destroyed. That is the real you. Unbroken, unchanged, untouched by time. The ancient Stoics and Jung spoke the same truth in different languages. That peace begins not when life stops changing, but when you stop trying to stop it. There is no need to fix what is falling apart. There is only the need to allow it. The world is made of cycles, expansion and contraction, growth and decay, creation and dissolution. Even the stars are born and die only to scatter their light into new galaxies. If the universe itself can fall apart and still create beauty, why can't you? In this awareness, something inside you softens. The fear of breaking becomes the relief of release. You begin to understand. Wholeness is not about staying intact. It is about staying open. The pieces of you that are falling apart were never meant to last forever. They are the temporary scaffolding that helped you build the truth within. And that truth, your awareness, your compassion, your capacity for love is indestructible. The voice returns, quieter now, as if coming from within your own heart. What's waiting isn't a perfect version of you, but the real you. You repeat it softly, like a mantra. The words feel warm, grounding, real. Perfection separates you from life. Reality connects you to it. So let the pieces go. Let the expectations dissolve. Let the mask fade. When everything else falls away, you will find that nothing essential is lost. What remains is simple: breath, presence, being. You realize that peace does not come from holding yourself together, but from trusting that you do not need to. As the music fades, you lie still. The air feels clean, the space around you open. The self you tried so hard to protect has melted into something vaster, quieter, freer. The night holds you gently. The old stories have burned down to embers, glowing faintly with the warmth of truth. And from within that glow, you hear it again, not as instruction, but as truth, soft as a heartbeat. Let it fall apart. Because what is waiting on the other side was never broken. It was only hidden. The world has fallen silent now. You have let the mask dissolve, the stories unravel, the walls within you crumble into the quiet. There is nothing left to protect, nothing left to perform, only breath, steady and slow, like the rhythm of the ocean at midnight. And as the pieces of who you thought you were drift away, something begins to emerge from beneath the wreckage. Something softer, something whole. It does not need to be fixed. It does not ask for permission to exist. It simply is. You begin to understand what Carl Jung meant when he said, "You're not here to be perfect. You're here to be whole." Perfection, you realize, is an illusion, a mirage that keeps you chasing the horizon, forever trying to reach something that recedes with every step. It is the voice that says, "You are almost enough, but not quite." It is the quiet exhaustion that follows every attempt to meet an invisible standard. Wholeness is different. It does not demand that you polish your rough edges. It does not ask you to exile your flaws. It invites everything in. The mess and the grace, the fear and the courage, the shadow and the light. Imagine standing beside a still lake. The surface is perfectly calm, mirroring the sky above. Clouds drift slowly across, white and dark, heavy and light. The lake does not choose which clouds to reflect. It receives them all equally without judgment, and in doing so, it remains clear. That lake is you. Wholeness is not the absence of contradiction. It is the space that holds it all. You breathe in, and for the first time, it feels safe to contain both the storm and the calm, the anger and the tenderness, the grief and the gratitude. You no longer need to separate them. You no longer need to hide from your own complexity. This is what Jung called individuation, the process of integrating all parts of the self into one consciousness. It is the realization that the self you show to the world is not the enemy of the one that lives in silence, and that even your darkness has something sacred to offer. In one of his letters, Jung wrote, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." That is what you are doing now, making the darkness conscious, not by fighting it, not by fixing it, but by seeing it, holding it, allowing it to exist without fear. You can feel the weight lifting, not because you have become perfect, but because you no longer need to. You recall all the moments when you punished yourself for being human, for failing, for hesitating, for being uncertain. Every harsh word you whispered inward, every impossible expectation you carried like a stone. And now they all begin to dissolve into the stillness of this understanding. The voice that once demanded perfection grows quieter, replaced by something kinder. A whisper that says, "It's okay," because it is. Perfection isolates you. Wholeness connects you. Perfection lives in comparison, always reaching, always measuring, always fearing what others might see. But wholeness lives in acceptance, a knowing that your worth was never conditional, never earned, never lost. In the stillness, you begin to see how much of your suffering was born not from imperfection itself, but from the refusal to embrace it. The cracks in your life were never signs of failure. They were openings, spaces where light could enter and where empathy could grow. Rumi once wrote, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." You think of those words now, and they make sense in a way they never have before. Every heartbreak, every loss, every failure has carved you open, not to destroy you, but to make space for light. When you were chasing perfection, You are chasing something still, lifeless, frozen. But life itself is movement, contradiction, rhythm. To be whole is to dance with both steps, one in joy, one in sorrow. You are both the wave and the shore, both the question and the answer. Jung believed that to become whole, one must hold the tension between opposites, the human and the divine, the conscious and the unconscious, the strength and the vulnerability. To deny either side is to deny life itself. And so, wholeness is not balance as the world defines it, not symmetry, not control. It is a living harmony, a dance between all that you are. Take a deep breath. Feel the light and shadow within you meeting in the center of your chest, not clashing, but blending like ink swirling in water. You are beginning to see that peace is not the absence of struggle. It is the presence of understanding. You whisper softly, "I am both." The words echo within you like a prayer. I am both the storm and the calm, both the flame and the ash, both the seeker and the home. And in that acknowledgement, the need to be perfect finally dies. The lake within you reflects everything, not because it tries, but because it simply is. And in that reflection, you see yourself clearly for the first time, not as broken pieces waiting to be fixed, but as a living mosaic of contradictions that together form something sacred. You are not here to perfect your humanity. You are here to experience it. Every mistake has taught you humility. Every failure has taught you resilience. Every wound has made you capable of compassion. You could not have become whole without them. Wholeness is the art of inclusion, of saying yes to all that you are, all that you have been, and all that you are still becoming. And as this understanding settles deeper, you begin to feel lighter, freer, softer. Perfection was a cage built out of fear. Wholeness is the sky, vast, unbounded, endless. You have been trying to fix your reflection when all along you were meant to step into it. The voice returns, warm and calm, as though coming from within your own heart. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to be whole. And now, the words no longer sound like a philosophy. They sound like home. The night hums quietly around you. The world outside breathes in rhythm with you. The trees, the stars, even the wind. Everything in its imperfection belongs. You belong. Perfection was always about arrival. Wholeness is about presence. There is nowhere to go, nothing to fix, nothing to prove. Only this moment, this breath, this quiet awareness of being alive. You rest in it, like the lake reflecting the sky, not fighting the clouds, not chasing the light, simply holding everything as it comes. And in that stillness, you finally understand. Peace is not perfection. It is permission. Permission to be, to exist, to rest. You are whole, and that is enough. The air is still now. Everything has slowed to a breath, a pulse, a single steady rhythm. You have let it all fall apart. You have seen that perfection was never the goal, that peace was not hiding in the spotless, but in the sincere. And as the echoes of the world fade into quiet, there is only one thing left to do: rest. You are not falling asleep out of exhaustion. You are resting because you have finally arrived. Carl Jung once wrote, "Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries." In other words, peace does not come from escaping your darkness, but from holding it with compassion. This is where the journey has led you, to a place where even your shadows have a home. You can feel it now. that deep exhale that follows years of holding your breath. The part of you that was always fighting, striving, fixing, has gone quiet. The war within has ended, not through victory, but through understanding. The voice of the guide returns, soft and steady. Wholeness is not achieved by denying your darkness, but by embracing it. These words settle in your mind like warm rain. They don't demand thought. They don't ask for agreement. They simply remind you that you were never broken. Every scar, every wound, every ache of the soul, they were not signs of weakness. They were the fingerprints of your becoming. For the first time, you see your life not as a set of mistakes and triumphs, but as one continuous unfolding. Every joy, every pain, every pause, all part of a single sacred movement. You remember how it began, the noise of the mind, the endless comparison, the battle between light and dark, the descent into shadow and the merging of opposites. Each chapter has been a step deeper into stillness, from control to awareness, to acceptance, to peace. And now, at the end of it all, you realize you have not been learning to be someone new. You have been learning to rest as who you already are. Take a slow breath in. Let it travel through your chest, your shoulders, your hands. Feel the air as it softens the space within you, the space where tension once lived. As you exhale, imagine releasing every weight that was never yours to carry, every expectation, every unfinished thought, every silent guilt. Let them drift out of you like smoke rising into the night. You no longer need to search for light. You have found that it was never separate from the darkness. They have always been two halves of the same whole, just as the ocean holds both calm and storm, just as the sky welcomes both dawn and dusk. Wholeness, you see, is not a state you achieve. It is the recognition of what has always been true. You were complete even in your chaos. You were pure even in your pain. You were home even when you felt lost. You think again of Jung's words. Wholeness is not achieved by denying your darkness, but by embracing it. Embracing does not mean clinging. It means allowing yourself to be human, to feel deeply, to break gently, to rise slowly, to forgive the moments when you forgot who you were, because forgetting too was part of remembering. You have walked through the storm of thoughts, through the mask and the mirror, through the shadow and the silence. You have seen both sides of yourself and learned to bow to each, not as enemies, but as partners in your becoming. Now, as the night folds in around you, there is nothing more to learn, nothing more to solve, only to rest in what you already are. The music fades to almost nothing, just a faint hum, like the sound of a heartbeat beneath water. The narrator's voice lowers, softer now, almost a whisper. Now, let everything rest. And for a moment, you do. You stop thinking about who you were or who you should be. You stop chasing meaning. You stop resisting the silence. You simply exist. There's a strange kind of peace in this. Not the fragile peace that depends on quiet days or easy answers, but the deep, eternal kind that lives beneath all change. It is the peace that says, you are whole, not because you have perfected yourself, but because you have accepted yourself. You are both the light and the shadow, the becoming and the being, the seeker and the found. The guide's voice fades again like a final breath of wind. You are free. And you realize freedom was never about escape. It was about surrender, about letting life flow through you without clinging to what must change. You are no longer afraid of falling apart because you understand that falling apart was only a form of transformation. You are no longer afraid of darkness because you have seen that even the night sky holds light. The stars do not fight the darkness around them. They shine within it. So you rest, not in victory, but in belonging. The night feels endless, but in the best way. You are not small in it. You are part of it. The same stillness that holds the stars is now holding you. Your breath slows. The world around you dissolves into a soft blur of sound and silence. There is nothing left to do, nothing to fix, nothing to become. You are whole. You are free. Sleep well.